Ever think about, like, what it actually takes to build something huge, like a skyscraper or one of those rockets they launch into
It's
space?
pretty amazing when you stop to think about it.
Right. And it's not all just like fancy computer designs and
Yeah,
stuff. There's a ton of like hardcore precision engineering going on behind the scenes.
absolutely.
And today we're diving into the world of the gear machinist, the folks who make all those intricate parts that make everything run. So no pressure, but you kind of hold the blueprint for how things work.
Uh-huh, yeah, something like that. And it's not just massive structures either. We're talking everyday stuff, the cars we drive, the planes we fly in. Even something as simple as a blender making your morning smoothie relies on precision gears.
Really? So you're telling me there's a gear machinist out there who's the unsung hero of my perfectly blended protein shake?
Pretty much. Gear machinists are essential in a surprising number of industries. It all comes down to precision. We're talking about crafting parts with tolerances so tight that even the tiniest error can have huge consequences.
I'm picturing like a gear in an airplane engine.
Exactly.
Mm.
Even a tiny deviation there could be disastrous. That's why skilled gear machinists are so in demand. They're the ones ensuring those critical components are made to exacting standards.
So not a job for someone with shaky hands then, because I can barely hang a picture straight.
You'd be surprised. But you do bring up a good point. With the rise of automation and things like electric vehicles, the demand for highly skilled machinists is only going to grow.
Makes sense. Electric cars still need transmissions, right?
They do. And they're even more complex than traditional transmissions. So yeah,
Yeah.
anyone considering a career as a gear machinist, job security isn't something you'll have to worry about.
Okay, so that's a serious pro in their favor, but
Mhm.
let's be real, we've got to talk about the downsides too. Some of these jobs sound pretty intense, like actually
Yeah,
intense.
right.
We're talking loud, potentially dangerous environments,
Yeah.
long hours on your feet.
hmm
It's important to have a realistic picture.
Absolutely. It's not for everyone.
Mm.
Imagine huge, bustling factory floors, the constant hum of machinery, sparks flying as metal meets cutting tools. It's a very specific kind of environment.
Not exactly your typical office job, that's for sure. So you're literally building the machines that build the future. But what's a typical day actually look like? What are you doing all day? So we've established that it's a pretty intense workplace, but what are you actually doing all day?
Well, it's a really interesting mix, actually.
That.
You've got the hands-on craftsmanship, but then there's this whole high-tech element, too.
So it's not all like old school lathes and wrenches anymore.
Some things never go out of style.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, imagine this. You start your day by reviewing blueprints,
Okay.
and not just like glancing at them. You're really dissecting the geometry, those crucial tolerances.
Right, because we're talking about serious precision here.
Exactly. Then you'd head over to your station, could be a high-precision lathe, a milling machine.
So you're setting it up, inputting the program, loading the materials,
You got it.
but you're not just pressing go and watching it happen.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely not. You have to
Yeah.
be constantly monitoring, listening for any sounds that might mean something's off.
Ah, so that's where the experience comes in.
Exactly. A seasoned machinist once told me it's like feeling the metal breathe. You develop a sixth sense for when something's not quite right.
Wow, that's surprisingly poetic for a job that's all about metal gears.
Right. It's that blend of art and science that makes it so fascinating.
You're not just pushing buttons, you're really using your senses, your intuition.
That's what it's all about.
The source material also mentioned a lot about teamwork in this field. Is it a solitary craft, or are you collaborating with others?
It's actually super collaborative,
Hmm.
especially when you're first starting out. Think of it like an apprenticeship. You're learning from those who've been doing it for years, picking up those little tricks of the trade that they don't teach you in a classroom.
That makes sense given the level of skill involved.
It is a skilled trade, for sure.
Speaking of which, let's talk about what it takes to actually become a gear machinist. It sounds like it's not just about having a knack for machinery. There's a real knowledge component here, too.
You hit the nail on the head. Remember shop class back in school?
Oh, yeah.
Turns out those classes weren't just about building birdhouses. They were laying some important groundwork. Math is crucial for a gear machinist.
Really? More than just like basic addition and subtraction.
Oh, yeah. We're talking geometry, trigonometry, being able to calculate angles and tolerances.
Okay, so you're using those skills on a daily basis.
Every single day. And let's not forget about fractions.
Fractions are the worst.
Uh-huh. But you got to be comfortable with them in this line of work. And beyond the math, you need a solid understanding of material science.
Materials science.
How different metals react to heat and pressure. You're essentially a metal whisperer, choosing the best materials for the job and understanding how they'll behave.
Metal whisperer. I like it.
Gotta have a good title, right?
Exactly. So it's clear you need a strong foundation of knowledge to even get started. But this isn't one of those fields where you just learn it once and you're set for life, is it? Things change so fast these days. What about keeping your skills up to date?
It's a lifelong learning thing, really.
Okay.
Trade shows are huge in this field.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more about those.
Picture this. Massive exhibition halls. Cutting-edge tech everywhere you look. You can get hands-on with the newest equipment, attend workshops. It's invigorating.
So you're not just keeping up, you're actually seeing what's next, getting inspired.
Totally. And for those who really want to get ahead, there are always more certifications, specialized training programs. It's how you become the expert in something.
And that probably translates to better pay, too.
You know it.
Okay, so you've got the skills, the knowledge, you're ready to land that awesome job. The sources mention a portfolio. What does that even look like for a gear machinist? You're not exactly wheeling in giant gears to an interview, right?
Sometimes. I've actually heard of people bringing in intricate parts they've made, even small working models.
Wow, that's dedication.
Right. But even if it's not something you can carry around, you can still create a visual representation of your work.
I'm picturing like photos, detailed drawings, maybe even 3D models.
Exactly. Think of it like you're showing, not just telling, what you can do.
Because passion and skill, those don't always translate on a resume.
For sure.
Speaking of interviews, the sources mention some pretty tough questions.
Oh yeah, they're not messing around.
It's not just about knowing the technical stuff, they want to see how you think, right?
Absolutely. Problem solving is key.
Give me an example, like what kind of curveball question might they throw at you?
One that stuck with me was, imagine you need to machine a gear with a really weird, unusual geometry, something you've never encountered before. How would you approach it?
So they're not looking for a right answer, they want to see your thought process. Can you think on your feet? Adapt to a new challenge. That's crucial in a field where precision is everything.
Couldn't agree more. And here's something that might surprise you.
Okay, hit me.
A lot of gear machinists, they don't actually have a 4-year college degree.
Wow, really? I kind of assumed.
It's more common than you might think. Many get their start through apprenticeships or vocational programs.
So it's a viable path to a successful career, even without that traditional college route.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about the skills and the experience, and there are multiple ways to gain them.
There you have it. Gear machining.
Yeah.
Technical, creative, and you're literally building the world around us.
What's not to love?
It's clear that it's demanding work, but so rewarding for the right person.
Definitely.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of gear machining. Thanks for exploring with us. Until next time.